going to be one off AC and C.
Two off theory.
No, actually.
Can I get more theory, please?
Off AC and C.
Good.
It's better.
Better? No.
Who's doing the draft? Damn, get off.
No, it's not. It's not his off. It's new off. New off.
Yeah, Matt's having to get off.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so off AC NC?
Yeah. Or
Can I read over?
yeah.
Just signpost.
Okay. Everyone ready?
Yep.
Ready. Yeah. Discourse is contradictory because the asked to transcend the flow for judgment evaluating the flow about whose meaning is for the assume the judge of the jurisdiction to put on out of random facts. One pre-fiat arguments for parcel purpose to determine which impacts are relative. The only reason we think things are offensive is because we individually from a more ethical movement discuss the relevance of all things, assume some framework like mine. Two, this is the wrong form. Like for instance, here the impact may be very large. It won't have to do anything to vote me down. We should just have a discussion post round. For example, my political campaign of all are fit to help women was not very successful. However, both that you guys this a couple summers ago, the women debate discussion was very beneficial. Three, this pre-fiat concept of valid contradictory. So both the judges should make an intuition-based decision based on the impacts like genocide or any pre-fiat argument. However, this then forces the judges to technically evaluate who the jury's impact to the doors. This outweighs since A, the paramount forces judges to make disingenuous decisions based on the flow, even if they're morally disagree with that argument. B, contradicts excuse my strategy. I don't know which side they're going to go for. And 4, he does not actually care about the discourse he's bringing up since A, he's talking about it in a competition. If he really cared about it, he would try to have the conversation about it outside of round. And B, he does not disclose the case before the round to me and could have showed me that, then he would have had a more meaningful conversation. Maybe 5, you are not a human before you are a judge, but are both the same at the same time. Your obligation as a judge come before your human obligation to you agree to execute the round based on the impacts and arguments of the round. To go against your argument and vote on the intuition would be more discursively offensive. 6, this was unfair since the judge's considered topics is always predetermined before the round. If I knew I could have an out of this out with fairness and with all other fairness implications, the judge intervention will be accountable for things I didn't actually say in the round. And as an overview to actually start. I'm going as an overview to the end. One, he said this doesn't matter because he still needs the framework to the arguments. They're all just brief so we get into two. The arguments in JERA or the JERA arts vote for about voting for stuff like democracy. Only need discourse. We only need discourse and debates, but they only say we need discourse and debate, but we're already debating, so it doesn't matter. You can call for them after the round. It says we only need discourse and debate, but we already debating. Solves. 3, turn. This is empowers young people because it treats them as children, not as citizens, with the same, so it does not give them the same rights as citizens, so it's going to give them not as much power. 4, it's better if we concede every round so we can spread the word faster. We can just tell people like Michael Harris did at the TOC and just concede every round. Moreover, go to the AC. I mean, yeah, go to the AC. Extend the fifth spike at the top of the AC. The spike from the top because the resolution just stated being obligation or prohibition rules with it, which morality meaning we don't have a change in our statement, which means you affirm. So this goes Cole conceded. Go to his reason skeptic gates. So his first argument why skep negates is because there's never never terminal defense. I'm saying there's terminal defense because if skep is true. I'm sorry. If skep is true, if skep is true, then that means that you're going to affirm the risk of offense linking back to if skep is true or not. There's no reason skep is in a framework. And 2, there is completely this is not presumption. This is skepticism. No, there's still offense. I'm not talking about that. And 3, there is no terminal defense. There's such a thing as terminal defense. If I'm proving that an argument is false, and that's certainly false. Like for instance, if you say a blatantly false argument like this pen is red, then I just like prove it. Like you make a bunch of turns. That doesn't mean you don't need to make a bunch of turns to that in order to win. You can just prove it's false. And 2, go to second argument. No morality means there's no moral obligation. I'm saying no morality means there is a moral obligation to do everything. He doesn't respond by more, so it's going to be contradicting that. 2 is literally no more coming out of this. He just literally just defines morality means no moral obligation. So extend right below spike number 4. So it's all part of okay, extend spike number 4. Skep affirm because it means that immorality is not considered rather considered it since there are no restrictions on what it means to be moral. Except right below that moral theories that justify equality trigger skepticism. It means people more status don't change when they act morally or Miller making morality meaningless. So he justifies equality because he's saying everyone should vote and like children should be empowered and stuff. So that means you're going to be affirming right there. And skep can outweigh all the previous gates because it means that since we don't have any moral obligations, since 1, we don't have any moral obligations to do anything. So you as the judges don't have any moral obligations to do anything for him. So and 2, it means the resolution is definitionally incomprehensible, which means you're going to affirm because it means the resolution is definitionally true. And moreover, go extend right below Thompson. And morality must make it impossible to be moral since morality is simply actual type acts. Morality requires real existence. So you look at my opponent's first skepticism is true since it's very relies on people accepting and therefore having free will. And extend the microphone doesn't trigger skepticism. Functional on to morality, king control action, and everything is moral. So either A, skep is true and what you affirm on face because that means free will. Morality requires free will not existing, or B, you look to my favor in which you affirm on face because that means everything is moral. Morality must control how you act.
Wait, okay. Cool. The neg will. Can I see the reason, the tampon pre-fiat before I begin prep?
Yeah.
You want to plug it?
Sure.
Okay. Starting now.
You still need it?
Yeah.
I don't want to cover that.
So, we're going to start with a clarification of what the neg pre-fiat arguments actually say, and then we're going to go to his 6 warrants about why my pre-fiat impacts are bad. Then we're going to go extend the NC framework, counterplan, go to the app. Cool?
Can you just repeat where you're starting?
Yeah. So we're starting with the extension of Giro 3, which is the pre-fiat argument.
Yeah, okay.
Then we're going to go his 6.
Signpost have the first one.
Signpost.
All right.
Oh, do you still need it? You mentioned it.
Yeah, I still need it. Sorry. Ready?
Yeah.
of generic prep out is based on a completely misunderstanding of what my pre-fiat impacts entail. Extend Giroux 3. My framework contextualizes your obligation as a judge. This is how you determine the better debater. Debate is a unique educational activity that can teach students how to become critical thinkers and engage students. So you should vote for actions that engage issues relevant to young people rather than abstract philosophy that just ignores social reality. So cross-apply the argument from the AC that there's an infinite number of ways to determine the burden structure for the round that we could use based on fairness. Then we could follow a performance framework, a critique framework, or a util framework. But the only way we should pick between those frameworks to reveal some external goal about what debate entails. So I'm the only determining what that external goal is, and thus how you should evaluate the round, what it needs to do to better debating. This takes out all of his arguments about micro-Paul. This isn't a micro-Paul position. I'm just saying that in order to evaluate who did the better debating, you have to look at what it means to do the better debating and what it would mean to be a good debater. So this isn't micro-politics in the sense that I'm saying you should set a norm for debate or create some sort of change within the community. Rather, just this contextualizes your obligations as a judge. So there's no link to these arguments. He's also not doing any defense on this particular argument. He was generic crap out. He's not contextualizing these in specifically I could apply them to Giroux. So none of his offense applies. He's not doing any kind of link work. But let's go to specific arguments. One, he says I need a framework. One, I need the Giroux 1 and Giroux 2 arguments specifically discuss the context of democracy. This also takes out his argument of why I'm appealing to intuition. I have a completely warranted framework that explains the why critical thinking is important to develop democratic deliberation process. So this argument, he's also assuming the second. He's assuming that he assumes that I'm giving you jurisdiction outside the round, but my argument is that your jurisdiction is only within the round, and the way you determine the better debater is by looking to the Giroux argument, which determines the. So this takes out the micro-Paul, or the second argument, which is micro-Paul about women debate. This is a micro-Paul. I'm not saying we should change debate, just how you should evaluate the round. The third argument says that it's intuition-based, but I'm not saying intuition. I'm explicitly saying that this is a my Giroux 2 evidence explicit to democracy, and he's saying that it's not intuition. But then he says this is disingenuous. What? This is completely this is completely BS. Second, this is completely speculative claim you can't verify. My argument is, insofar as I've been running these kinds of impacts the entire tournament. I am completely genuine. I'm running this on app and net. So this is this way. Also, you can't. There's no way to determine this claim, so you shouldn't vote on this. Also, I am being completely genuine. Also, he said his B point is that. Did contradictions skew his strategy? But there's no reason why I'm being contradictory. He's not providing a specific reason why this skews his strategy, so you give him no credence. Also, this isn't linking back to anything. He doesn't have a fairness voter in the round, so there's no reason why these impacts matter. Then he says, I didn't disclose and this is bad for pre-fiat. But the one Scarsdale already had this case. That's why they knew how to read this crap out. But second, there's no reason why you need to disclose in order for this to generate a positive change within the community. My argument is not that this bites into his out-of-round impacts. Disclosure is out of the round, but he says you only have jurisdiction within the round, so this is implicitly contradiction. You can't look to this argument. But third, even if you do want to look to disclosure, even if you want, this is non-unique because he didn't disclose either, so he can't make any claims like this, so we would be equally bad under this. But also, my argument is just specific to the fact that you should prefer impacts relevant to young people. It's not about generating change. Then, so that takes out all he makes arguments about why it's unfair and why you don't have an obligation to vote as a human being. But I didn't read that argument, so this doesn't matter. Go to the framework. Extend Giroux 2, empowering young people as a prerequisite to achieve democratic goals, agency, self-government, meaningless citizens are just passive spectators and capable of challenging institutions. This control the internally to his framework. This creates the risk of offense. He didn't respond to these arguments, so there's a risk they're true. He doesn't make any kind of response. You need terminal defense. He says there's terminal defense, but he's putting any ink on these, so there's always a risk that this argument's true and that you would always negate. Then he says that the framework's pre-fiat, but one is post-fiat. These arguments specific to democracy. Then he says turn the streets. He says that it creates inequality. But my argument is going to be massively outweighing because it will create structural inequality against these kind of individuals. He says that we should treat all individuals as citizens. My argument is there's specific. My argument is better for equality. He says also that he'll be spreading the word fast, but this also appeals back to some micro-political position. Also, I'd be outweighing any kind of turns he has by extending the counterplan. Extend Cox. The vote should be compulsory only for your first election. Extend the counterplans mutually exclusive. The African also vote. Then extend key to the huge 40% gap in turnout. Then extend cool tell you that empirical the compulsory voting actually increases age-based and turnout. Then extend birth that this leads to substitute policy outcomes that are skewed against young people. They lost 28% of their income in consequence, whereas older people only lost 10%. Then extend marching. This leads to further substantive bias because there's a 7-to-1 spending gap in federal spending in the United States. Programs like education lost $100 billion in this question. The Social Security lost nothing. So this is the biggest impact factor. It's powering youth framework. They said the Giroux card, which says.
Oh, it's not.
I've 2 minutes.
2 minutes. That was 6.
What was it?
Extend Giroux that this is key to giving disadvantaged students scholarships. So this takes out all of his arguments. Then, so this is the biggest impact factor framework. Then go to the AC. So he extends. He only links to skepticism, but one extends the risk of offense argument, which I cross-apply this impossible but defense or normative claim. He says that we can prove that like my pen is red, but this is distinct from moral claims saved because there's no like physical conditions on which a moral claim can be proven true or false. That extends skeptical negate because there's no morality, there's no way to deny the claims. The all claim that all implies consistent with function, but there's no way to say something consistent with this function if there's no way to determine what a function is. So this would mean the skeptical negate and all of his triggers would go out. And he says equality makes morality meaningless, but there's literally no warrant for this argument. Equality is the only way to make morality meaningful because this is a prerequisite democratic goal. Then also extended. He says that your reason to affirm is well conceded, but you guys all explicitly specified before the round you would not vote off 2 in second place. If you don't understand this operative reason, you shouldn't give it credence over a fully extended counterplan and a framework which is extended throughout the round. So he says that you should be skeptical about pre-fiat claims. One, this is a huge conflation of the pre-fiat and post-fiat world. If they're skeptical true in the pre-fiat world, this means you have no obligation to do anything. There'd be no way to evaluate the round as a judge. So prerequisite to being able to evaluate the round is to presume normative statements are true. Then also off his Thompson argument about free will. One, if you didn't have free will on your flow at all, don't vote on this. But second, this argument ignores the fact. This argument doesn't have any link back to the specific Giroux framework. He extends lots of skeptical warrants, but he's not explaining the interaction between the Giroux framework and my framework. So my argument is that insofar as we should be consistent with the goal of democracy and we should be consistent with the role of democracy, we should always look towards the Giroux framework because I'm at least providing you some reason. Also extend the warrant at the top of the risk of offense argument that there is no reason to vote AF in a skeptical world because there's always at least a 1% chance of a reason in the AF, which means you always have a reason to negate but never to affirm. So here's how the round breaks down. I'm clearly winning pre-fiat with contextualizes what it means to do the better debating. I'm extending offense back to empowering youth. He supercharged the impact by not even engaging with these contention. Insofar as his only offense of the round is scap, he's not providing you a reason why these 6 arguments are a reason to vote me down. I'm the only one with offense of the round.
What should I have, like 117, right?
Yeah, I have you down at 123.
Okay. Is going to be my overview, starting on my overview to the NC, and then back to the AC.
Okay, just signpost.
My overview at C then AC?
On the overview on the NC, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Everyone ready? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Sorry. Okay. Andrew makes a big mistake in this round. He dropped my third argument again, so on the overview I determined that this disempowers young people because it treats them as children, not as citizens with the same rights. This means that if you're gonna be looking at his framework, I'm always gonna be that way. He almost runs out of time, so he has to like speed through his responses on the overview, and he goes like, oh, go to this argument, but he only gets to 1, 2, and 5. So it doesn't really matter. Okay? And so he makes a response to the first, second, and fifth argument, but he ignores the turn I made. He doesn't say how this is going to empower young people. So that means I'm always going to be winning under his framework. It doesn't matter. So now goes back to the ASIN. Extend the force by the top of the AC. This confirms that means the morality is not extended to everything. It's in there, what it means to be moral. You're going to be voting, that's the true, you're always going to be affirming. He dropped this in the first functionality, so all of his new arguments that do not apply to this. Moreover, he made a new implication out of his first extension. Okay, so go to his first reason, skeptic negates. Extend my first response. He dropped my first response that there's such a thing as terrible defense because they can prove something false by definition. Actually, that's the only thing responded to. So go to his response. These are distinct from role claims. One, there's literally no warrant as to why. That's something there's just such an objective truth. This would trigger skep again. This would only trigger skep because it means that there's no such thing as objective moral truth because that moral claims are not factual claims. So that means that morality can't exist because it's not a factual claim. And also, he says he drops my second argument against this. There is such a thing as there is not a risk of offense. I'm by definition proving the resolution true. By saying skep is true. So that's going to always preclude all those arguments. And go to the second argument, the no morality means there's no moral obligation. You drop my first argument about how no morality is by definition means there's no moral obligation. I'm providing reasons in my fourth slide why that's true. He literally just dropped this. He just said odd is defined as this, and there's no framework. We need a framework. One, there's literally no. This is a complete new implication. This means skeptic gates. He tries to make an argument that this means skeptic gates. One's a new implication. He did not make it to the first page, and two, he literally just said no morality means not a moral obligation. He doesn't make any argument as to why. He made a whole different implication. Now go to right below Thompson. Extended morality is possibly moral for morality is differently God action. God controls how you act. So morality requires free will is non-existing. So if you look at my opponent's framework, skeptic true since his framework relies on people acting they're having free will. He drops the reasons of why this means skeptic true, and he said I conceded in CX trust to extend this argument, but that has no implication out of the arguments. I said that I conceded in the CX from one argument and not conceding CX to all those arguments. And moreover. He said that this is distinct from, yeah, so, and if you're gonna look to my framework doesn't trigger steps and functional on morality, can't control actions, and everything's moral, so attributes good and the characteristics, which means do not face affirm because everything's moral. And moreover, he also misconstrues moral skep with epistemological skep. He says that if skep is true, that means you wouldn't have an ability to judge the round. But moral skep just says morality just doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that we don't know if morality exists. You can still be immoral and make decisions. There's no reason that's true. So the round breaks down really simply. Oh no, we also drop by skep outweighs pre-fiat because it means that there's no moral implication for you as the judge to vote for him, and that's always gonna outweigh everything else because he tries to make these arguments that you still have a reason to vote for him. He tries to make this argument that means it was irresolvable, but it's not.